This is truly about to become the time of your life. And if you have not taken advantage yet of this recent gigantic red candle, my friend, well then I'm afraid to say that you might be just too late. The last moments before Bitcoin and crypto end up absolutely going parabolic are right here with us right now. With September generally being a blood month, we can see that the last 3 Septembers were actually a little bit in the green, right? And if you have a look, most of them were in the red, and the average and median was about a 3% drop for the month of September. So usually September is called Rectember. However, in October, we are generally followed by an absolutely powerful month of double-digit percentage gains on Bitcoin, and the average is around 22% returns. In November, we could even see an average of 46%, and in December, plus kind of 4% odd in December. So generally, September, October, November are the months to run away with. Now, of course, coming up to altcoin season, we can see that Bitcoin dominance has really, there's been zero quarterly, monthly, and weekly performance over the short little while. We have not yet seen this here, which will come soon. And this here, generally when we see it so dead, we see the massive follow through of a rally. I don't believe we've seen that. And yet the price is at some of the most magnificent highs we have seen at the moment. Now, if we look at ETH charts, you can see that currently in September we're down about 5%, but usually September is a very bad month for Ethereum as well, at a minus 8-9%, 6 to 8%. October is generally a more positive month, and sometimes double digits here, as you can see. Returns, sometimes double digit negatives. Then we have an absolute bloodbath sometimes in November and in December. So really, Ethereum is kind of outperforming only in January, February, March, April, and May. And that's why I believe the bull market could extend to May, and usually sell in May and go away, because then it's red in June, red in July, technically. But, you know, honestly, you can see here that you really have like 2 to 3 months left to accumulate. Bitcoin's going to make its next rally, and then Ethereum will, and then followed by altcoins. We are now at the next and last rally phase of this cycle, my friends, and the rotations are slowly starting to progress. Now, Justin, the Deutsche Bank says, well, they're worth 1.5 trillion. Says that central banks may buy and hold Bitcoin on their balance sheets by 2030. Now, that's still 4 years away, my friends. Considering where we're at right now, you are front-running central banks to buy Bitcoin. And there ain't enough money in the world to buy all of this Bitcoin. And there ain't enough Bitcoin to go around to all of these institutions. So, Bitcoin can only be money. Everything else is credit. And you'll see this picture on my thumbnail, so I hope you enjoy that. Shout out to Mr. MS on this incredible flippin' journey that he has taken, I must say. And so many other nation states, institutions across the world have followed suit and even started making other treasuries with the likes of Ethereum and Solana. I would not put it past us if we were to see an Cardano, a AVAX, even a Hyper treasury going forward at some point. Because Bitcoin is on track to hit $250,000 this cycle, my friends. The 4-year cycle is imminent, and usually right now we have technically what we should be seeing is alts cycle, but we haven't seen the rotation into altcoins just yet. So BTC to pump, that rotates back into Ethereum. Ethereum then washes that down all the way to altcoins, and man, hopefully if you've been watching the Crypto Bliss community here, my friends, you are going to be becoming a millionaire this cycle. If you agree, then smash the like button and show me a heart in the comment below. I'd truly appreciate that. Bitcoin enters a massive bull cycle. I think I've shown you this chart from AO on a number of occasions now. We literally are at this massive point here right now, my friends. If you're selling your Bitcoin, if you're selling your altcoins, you're going to absolutely regret it. Just hold on, be patient for a little while longer, up until May next year. Beyond that, my friends, if you have not taken profits, I'm going to say to you, you definitely should be taking profits along that way from between now and then. Because BlackRock's Bitcoin ETF is the fastest ETF ever in all of history. Literally 374 days. And I mean, look at this. Look at what it took these ones to reach these values. My friends, Bitcoin is the #1 asset on the world, and BlackRock would not have gone on a buying spree like this if they didn't believe so too. And that's why Mr. Trump and US congressmen are urging the SEC to implement the president's executive order allowing Bitcoin in the 401ks. It's coming. If you don't understand what that means for you, well, my friends, 401ks allowing people to invest in Bitcoin and ETF treasuries. Wow. That is absolutely trillions coming into the space now. And my friends, that's what's going to send Bitcoin on a rocket ship, not even to land on the moon, to go beyond the moon, through the universal stellar and teleport us into another dome. Oh, sorry, did I say that? Because Mr. Arthur Hayes also believes that by 2028, which, my friends, officially is just around the corner, about 2 years, Bitcoin will be $3.4 million worth. Do you even understand where we're at right now? At $112,000 on the Bitcoin price today? That's a massive jump there, my friends. Not only that, but September, as I mentioned to you, is always a trap in this cycle. September, trap. September, trap. September, trap. Boom! 77% to that. 90% there. Are we about to see an 80% shift to the upside? If we see an 80% shift to the upside, my friends, we're seeing over $200,000 Bitcoin. Do not get shaken out right now. Because if you do get shaken out, my friends, you are the only one to blame for the loss of capital gains that you would have made investing in the beautiful crypto charts like I've been sharing with you. Now, as you can see, we're a little bit behind schedule on where the dump and the flush out is, the trap, before we rally. My friends, I have a very strong feeling next week we are going to see, and bearing in mind Trump and Mr. Powell are busy speaking at the moment of this video launch, or just earlier on. So we could see very much volatile markets come into space and then a massive catapult up. I hope you're positioned. I am completely all in. I have zero dry powder left to put into crypto. I have got bots running, I've got trades running, I've got investments going. My friends, we are here to make money together. Because the Fed has confirmed that in October, they will cut rates once again. It is happening, whether you like it or not. And so you can see, I'll show you this beautiful chart now. Gold usually runs and breaks out first. Look at what gold has done. Gold broke out of this rising wedge pattern. Bitcoin has not yet broken out of this rising wedge pattern. Now, very much the beautiful thing about this is that you can actually see shoulder, head, and shoulder pattern forming two. Not only that, but we also have at the smaller time frame, shoulder, head, and shoulder pattern busy forming. So first breakout is this, without a doubt, a smash through, a pullback to retest the 125 previous high here at this peak, and then a continuation of the pattern. My friends, I I still see 300K Bitcoin at the end of the cycle. My date might be a little bit out now at the end of October, 25 October 2025. And then we could push that out to probably first quarter of 26. What do you think? Let me know down in the comments below. Love to see what your views are. Now, with everything happening and unfolding in the space, we are seeing the world shine their light on Bitcoin. And none other than Coinbase CEO has just said the following.
We also saw the United States of America now has a strategic Bitcoin reserve. So if the United States government is going to begin holding Bitcoin, I think that's going to be a massive driver of demand, and the rest of the G20 countries will probably follow suit. And then the last thing I'd say is that we saw recently the launch of the Bitcoin ETFs by a number of different firms, and Coinbase is actually powering 80% of the custody for those that are out there. But we're seeing a ton of institutional money continue to flow into Bitcoin now that these ETFs are live. So there's a lot of positive tailwinds for Bitcoin. And I think that there's never going to be more than 21 million Bitcoin ever made in the world. And lots of pools of capital still haven't gotten access to it. So that tells me.
So if you can actually believe your eyes and what your eyes are telling you right now, Bitcoin is going beyond. I don't think you can comprehend this. So my friends, yes, Bitcoin might not make you a 5, 10, 100x now within the next year. It'll make you a 2, 3x, okay? But going forward, I've just shown you. Hayes says 3.4 million. Saylor says 14 million. You know, Tom Lee says also 3 million, my friends. And here is what he believes will unfold.
95% of all Bitcoin's been mined, but 95% of the world doesn't own Bitcoin. So I just think that there's still a huge demand versus supply imbalance, meaning there's a lot more potential buyers of Bitcoin over the next 10 years. And so I think there's a lot of upside into year end.
Into your like 150 target.
Yeah, 150, maybe 200, even 250 this year.
What? 150 to 200 to even 250. And what's you don't have a terminal price on that, do you?
Well, it's, I think at a minimum, it should have the same network value as gold. And if you look at above ground gold, it's probably 23 trillion. So that would be, 1.2 million for Bitcoin. But I think Bitcoin is more valuable than gold. So, gold, Bitcoin could be 2 million, 3 million long term. Even higher.
When people like Tom Lee come forward and speak such words, such bold statements about where Bitcoin could possibly be going in the next few years, such as Tom Lee, Arthur Hayes, Michael Saylor, institutions, nation states are all listening. And if you are part of retail and you're not listening, you're missing out on one of the greatest wealth transfers in all of history, if not the greatest. And according to Mr. T, they would love your Bitcoin more than ever before. And here's why.
I became a fan of crypto, and to me it's an industry. I view it as an industry, and I'm president, and we've dominated that industry. It's a big industry, by the way. In fact, when the stock market went down recently, crypto and Bitcoin and all of that went down much less than anybody else as a group. And we've created a very powerful industry, and that's much more important than anything that we invest in. We invest in it, but really that was an industry that wasn't doing particularly well. I got involved with it a couple of years ago. It's become amazing. It's the jobs that it produces. And I notice more and more you pay in Bitcoin. People are saying it takes a lot of pressure off the dollar. I became a fan.
It takes a lot of pressure off the dollar. Isn't that very interesting, right? Sure, my friends. Wow, wow, wow. We are at one of the most historical moments in time, okay? And you are part of this journey. And if you believe that you are too, then make sure that you are currently subscribed to the Crypto Bliss community, because I'm bringing you solid alpha like this continuously, especially through the bull market. Now, my beautiful community, let's go and make sure that you have used my Bybit link down in the description of the video below. You can get yourself up to $30,000 deposit bonus, and you can use that to trade your coins, invest in spot, whatever it is that you'd like to do, you can go ahead and do so. Now, unfortunately, I was wiped out on that pullback, seemingly so. Two things, right? Learn from your mistakes always. I was wiped out of 14 other trades, okay? Boom, in one moment, with one candle, absolutely wiped out. Now, why was I wiped out? Well, thankfully, I don't believe I lost that much cash in this scenario. Some stop losses. What I did was I pulled the stop loss up to the break-even level, and some I pulled up just above, and some were just underneath. So I think all in all, I must have lost maybe 1% of my entire portfolio, even though I got trapped in 14 trades and stopped out. That's okay. That's what stop losses are there to prevent, is massive liquidity busts up on your trades. Now, of course, the big daddies had to last. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Solana, Near isn't that, AVAX, Cardano, Doge, and a little bit of Render. So those are the only trades of mine that actually survived. Now, I've added more to those positions because right now I do believe that we are at the bottom area of this nasty pullback, and I'm going to show you now exactly why. So currently on the Ethereum chart, you can see here that we're really just ranging, my friends. We're just ranging hard right now. And here's a bottom, and this is forming another double bottom. If we were to break this, honestly, yes, I would expect us to drop hard and then drop even harder. Possibly we could end the bull cycle at that stage, but I don't believe that that is going to happen. I instead believe that we would probably see something like this, okay, and then that continuation of this move to the upside. Now, I could be wrong, but the data, bottom, 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 and of course here on the MACD we had a bit of a sell pressure there, and right now we got a little bit of sell pressure here, but really we're coming to the end of these little moments. So what I would like to say to you is that don't be fooled, don't get trapped out. I've actually re-entered and added more to my position here. Even though I bought down here and here on Ethereum, I don't care. I'm adding to this position because we're getting ready to break out. And if Ethereum breaks out, also going to break out, my friends. Now, Bitcoin is somewhat looking the same. And here is this massive falling wedge pattern. Rising wedge pattern, excuse me. As you can see, we're in this massive rising wedge pattern. Let's pull that down a little bit tighter. And you can see that we're on the bottom area and support zone of this rising wedge pattern. Now, I do see that we're also kind of getting knocked down by this resistance level, which honestly is Bitcoin's previous all-time high. Okay, so of course we're going to get a little bit of a knockdown right here. You can see that within this zone here, boom, we're getting a little bit of play on the reverse, but at the same time, we're also getting a very nice strong bounce. And if we had to pull that line all the way there, excuse the skewness, but you get the point. You can see what it is that that we've done here. So right now, I would expect us to probably pull back up and then break out and then break out like this. I would expect us to do something like that. It's going to wick you. It's going to flush you out once again. So right now is a good time to buy. But honestly, a retest back here would be the ultimate point. Because once we do see the stochastic momentum pull up and hit this level again, it's going to come back down, right? That would be your next point, which would probably be this point here, to continue to look at a new investment on a new trade on Bitcoin. Now, all fun and games, I have added, and this is just an experiment for me thus far. You can see I've just used very small monies here, $10, $10, $11, $39, $20. So call it like $100 that I put in here so far. Okay. You can see that these are trading bots, and I did this morning. I did Cardano this morning, and look, we're in a little bit of profit already, right? Doge I did this morning, Solana I did yesterday, and Algorand I did yesterday too. Now, we're in profit in all of those, and if you want to do bots, well, my friends, you need to use my Bybit link down below. Those are experimental bots for me. I do have bots running on other exchanges that are very much profitable. And so the bot strategies that have been improved on these exchanges now, because of AI, etc., are a whole much bigger game right now. So the last thing I want to leave you with is, right now, my friends, we had a pullback here. Like, cool, this is a washout here, because everybody thought that, well, we're going stronger, we're going to break out. Well, my friends, they trapped us. Boom, they trapped us. Look at that, pull back right down to that level, and ironically, we're closing the candle above. Now, isn't that interesting? Okay, because that's support there, my friends. That is massive, massive support. So cool, we lost a couple $100 billion out of the market with that liquidation there. But if you subscribe to the Crypto Bliss community, you're not going to miss out on these buying opportunities, and you are going to make some good cash going forward. I keep showing you, so make sure that you are subscribed, and we will see you on the next one.